This video is brought to you by catbeast.com. Design your own custom snapbacks and hats.
JD from New York, 206. It's time for Off the Script. Big Show and Ryback, Strowman and Roman. Get off my fucking TV and save me the misery. And all you fucking goons, just grab a cold beer. The man of the hour is finally here. JD from New York, 206. It's time for Off the Script. JD from New York, 206. It's time for Off the Script.
What is going on, guys? JD from New York here. Thank you so much for tuning back into the channel on this Saturday morning, July 8th, 2017. This is, of course, the #1 fucking podcast right here on YouTube.com for everything WWE. Episode 177, part number 2 of Off the Script. And everybody is losing their fucking mind, man. I'm looking at my Twitter notifications go absolutely bonkers right now. It's 6:45 on Thursday afternoon, or Friday afternoon, rather. Don't even know what fucking day it is. Friday afternoon, and people are going crazy over the fact that Austin Aries has been released from the WWE. We have absolutely no information whatsoever about Austin Aries being released from the WWE. Maybe, I'm going to throw this out there, man. This is going to be a hot rumor. This is going to be a hot rumor for the fucking dirt sheets, bro. Maybe Austin Aries was so upset that Titus Catering Worldwide didn't import organic bananas from Ecuador, bro. He wanted them from Ecuador. That's what he wanted. Titus said no organic, and I'm getting them from Colombia. And Austin Aries said, fuck this shit, I want my WWE release. I'm pretty sure that's the reason, bro. I'm pretty sure. You know Austin Aries loves his bananas. Titus is trying to fucking save some money, bro. Listen, he's a big baller. He comes out being a big baller every week, and he wants to save some fucking pennies on bananas? Come on, bro. Are you serious? You're gonna let Austin Aries walk over a fucking Colombian banana? You fucking asshole. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. But in all seriousness, Austin Aries is let go from the WWE. I'm a fucking asshole, man. I really am. No wonder Titus Worldwide blocked me. Anyway, in all seriousness, Austin Aries was released from the WWE. My Twitter notifications are still going crazy, man. Everybody's saying the same thing. Everybody's saying the same thing. It's a damn shame. He was misused. He was stuck in the cruiserweight territory. I don't blame him for leaving. You know, we don't have any information on this right now, man. We have zero information. You know? Dating back to when Austin Aries first debuted with the WWE and NXT, he should have stayed in NXT. He should have been front and center for NXT. I would have never even promoted him to the main roster. Not yet, anyway. You know? He broke his orbital bone by Shinsuke Nakamura's Kinshasa, which was a miscue, right? It was a mistake, an accident. And then all of a sudden they needed something to do with Austin Aries, so they put him as a color analyst or a color commentator for the cruiserweights, and then one thing led to another. You know, he's doing cruiserweight work and analyzing the cruiserweights and announcing the cruiserweights, then he's in the cruiserweight division. You know? I understand you want to use him because you're paying him, and I understand you want to use him because he's a fucking top-tier guy, talent-wise, in the ring, bell to bell, but for the cruiserweight division, Austin Aries is worth so much more than that, man. But we really don't know why he left. They just signed his wife. Thea Trinidad just signed with the WWE. You would think he would want to stay with the WWE to be around her and see that she's successful. So we don't really know. But one thing led to another. He was analyzing the cruiserweights, color commentator, matches with Neville for 3 straight pay-per-views. He got his WrestleMania match, which should have been on the main show. It should have been on the main show, but it was on the pre-show, right? And a lot of people made mention that when you go buy the DVD, WWE doesn't put the pre-show content on the regular DVD. It starts from the actual show. So whatever the opening match was at WrestleMania, that's the opening match on the DVD. They don't go back to the pre-show. So, you know, when you look back at it, Austin Aries and Neville weren't even on WrestleMania if you buy the DVD. Or you watch it on the fucking network. You watch it on the network, it's the same thing. It starts right when WrestleMania starts at 7 p.m. That's it. They don't do nothing for the pre-show. You got to go back in the catalog or the options and find the pre-show for WrestleMania to watch that match. So he didn't even get an actual WrestleMania match if you look at it that way. He shouldn't even been in the Cruiserweight division. He should have stayed in NXT. The guy should have been fighting for the NXT Championship. He should have been at least an NXT champion. But WWE wants to fucking rush. They don't have any patience, right? Their failed experiment with 205 Live is just that. They figured Austin Aries would give them a certain boost to 205 Live. It went nowhere, even with the amount of talent in the ring with Neville and Austin Aries. It went nowhere. And then after his third match with Neville, he cited injuries, nagging injuries, and next thing you know, he's being released from the WWE. We don't know. Maybe he was unhappy. Maybe genuinely he was unhappy with the way things were going. Maybe he really is hurt, and it's going to be a very long time before he steps in a ring anywhere. And WWE did not want to wait that long, and he asked for his release. He wants to sit at home. So let him sit at home. Or maybe the guy realizes that I'm stuck in a fucking black vortex here called 205 Live. WWE has no plans to move me to the main roster where I can mingle with Samoa Joe and Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns and Finn Balor and Jeff Hardy, right? Cesaro, Kevin Owens, AJ Styles, etc., etc., etc. The list goes on and on. Sami Zayn, right? How many matches we could get out of Austin Aries? We could put Austin Aries easily right into the IC title mix on Monday Night Raw. Maybe he realized that he was in a black vortex and that he was going nowhere and WWE had no plans to move him anywhere but 205 Live. That's not really the path that Austin Aries envisioned when he got to the WWE. He's seen himself on the main roster, having WrestleMania moments, being in fucking top-tier feuds with big-name guys. Meanwhile, he's fighting Jack Gallagher and fucking Tony Nese and all these other fucking guys on 205 Live. He doesn't want that. Maybe he wants to go back to Ring of Honor. Maybe he wants to go to New Japan, you know? I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, you know? Everybody's got New Japan on the brain because they infiltrated the United States in Long Beach, right? They seen that monumental 2-night show that they put on in California, and New Japan now has plans to expand with a dojo in Los Angeles. They're already talking about touring during WrestleMania season next year with more live shows, and that it's going to be a regular thing in 2018. They could finally really be a competitor to WWE, or WWE, you know, can finally have competition here in the States, because New Japan is offering something that WWE right now is not. Adult-oriented wrestling. That's what they're giving you guys right now. Meanwhile, WWE is giving you wrestling, but it's fucking watered-down garbage. Kiddie shit, you know? We don't know why Austin Aries left the WWE. It could be a multitude of things. So let's all wait and find out what is going on with Austin Aries. You know, maybe he asked for his release. Maybe they granted it to him. Maybe he wants to fucking go somewhere else. Maybe he really is hurt. Maybe he was unhappy. We don't know. It could be a multitude of things. Let's just wait before we fucking blow a gasket and pop a blood vessel here. Let's wait until news is actually released on the information of Austin Aries. So just leave it at that, please. But me, I'm just going to tell you the way it is, man. It's another top-tier talent that was misused by WWE, and they don't know what the fuck they're doing with anybody over there. Really. You know? And it's going to be the same thing for Dolph Ziggler. I've said this about Dolph Ziggler for fucking weeks now. Dolph Ziggler needs to fucking get away from WWE ASAP. He needs to go to Ring of Honor or New Japan and reinvent himself and follow the same exact road that Cody Rhodes went down. And Dolph Ziggler will be a bigger name than he's ever been in the WWE. And then when WWE sees what this guy can really do and the fucking 5-star matches that this guy's going to put on with every fucking body in the indie scene, then they're going to want him back. And then they're going to get him back and they're going to fucking misuse him again. Right? That's why these guys leave the WWE and ask for their release and say, fuck this shit. I actually want to be a professional wrestler. Look at Cody. You got to admire what Cody's doing. You know? One of the biggest independent names right now, Ring of Honor champion, Cody Rhodes is one of the most highly sought after names in the industry right now. Why? Why? Because he knew exactly what he was worth. WWE did not. And everywhere that he's wrestled, they are allowing him to be Cody Rhodes. WWE didn't want Cody to be Cody Rhodes. They wanted to keep him as Stardust. For whatever fucking reason, I don't know. But it pisses me off when WWE misuses talent when they originally have this talent and they don't know what the fuck they have right underneath their nose. It's bullshit. They did the same thing with Cody. They're doing it with Ziggler. They did it with Punk. Even though they gave Punk the outlet to be CM Punk, they continue to misuse CM Punk. They didn't put him in main events. They bypassed him every fucking time that they had something for him. They just shit all over him. No movies, no WrestleMania main events. How the fuck do you have CM Punk in your company and you don't have him main event WrestleMania? Are you out of your fucking mind? Ridiculous. This is the company that we all watch every single fucking week. Every week, this is the company that we watch. And then people want to blame me. Oh, JD, you're negative, man. You're negative, man. What am I negative about? You're telling me I'm negative because I'm telling you the truth? How am I being negative? What have I said in the last 3 minutes that you cannot agree with me with? Nothing. Motherfucker. Jesus Christ. Unbelievable, man. Anyway, Austin Aries. Don't get me started. Austin Aries released from the WWE. So we'll find out as soon as more information becomes available. But I want to thank everybody. What a fucking way to start this show, man. What a way to start this show. Thank you guys for joining me on Off the Script. One correction I need to make before we get into the news. Somebody, and I thank them, I don't know who it was. I'm sure he'll present himself in the comment section down below. The barbershop window sale is not. It is only for Pro Wrestling Tees. So if you guys have been trying to purchase t-shirts and you realize that code America is not working on barbershop window, that's because it's not eligible for barbershop window. They got their own sale going on, which is only 10% off. But Pro Wrestling Tees has been so good to me that I emailed the CEO, Ryan, and he's actually going to get back to me as of Saturday, and he's going to email me a specific code that you guys can use on your own that is completely separated from what they're doing on Pro Wrestling Tees. That's going to allow you to save 20% off. He's going to generate me my own code that you guys can buy t-shirts all weekend up until Monday at 12 noon, just like you can on Pro Wrestling Tees. So he's going to give me a unique code just for you guys all weekend so you guys can purchase your t-shirts and get ready for SummerSlam. So I want to thank him, and I want to thank everybody at Pro Wrestling Tees Barbershop Window, man. They are top-notch fucking individuals, and I would rather work with nobody else than those guys with merchandise, man. They are unbelievable. So I want to let you guys know that it's not working yet, but as soon as I get wind of this, I will find out what the code is, and I will tweet it out, and I will put it in the comment section down below. So make sure you guys keep an eye out for that. The code America is not working for Barbershop Window, only Pro Wrestling Tees. So please go over there and support your favorite content creators over there, man. Justin LaBar, WrestleRumble, Solomonster, Joe Cronin, Grimm's Toy Show, Tom Cushney. They're all on there, man. Or you guys want to go and find another podcast that you guys like over there. They got a ton of shirts, so you guys want to support your favorite wrestlers, Kenny Omega, Steve Austin, CM Punk, the Young Bucks. They're all over there, man. So you guys can use that code America on ProWrestlingTees.com, but not Barbershop Window. I am getting my own code, and I will let you guys know as soon as I get it emailed to me. Speaking of WrestleRumble, I want to make sure you guys are aware that the Great Balls of Fire Pick'em is now live. So all you got to do is go to WrestleRumble.com, and I'm going to type this in right now because I completely forgot that there was even a fucking contest. So they're having a Great Balls of Fire Pick'em contest. WrestleRumble.com. You guys know the deal. Single entry is $10. Triple entry is $20. And the first place winner will receive $500 cash. Holy shit, that's a lot of money. $500 cash and a copy of WWE 2K18. Second place is $100. Third place is $100. Fourth and fifth place is $50. It's a point system where you guys got to guess the most correct answers. You're going to fill out a questionnaire. You're gonna guess the winners. You're gonna guess the time length. You're gonna guess if a table's gonna be broken. You're gonna guess how many suplexes Brock Lesnar's gonna give to Samoa Joe. It's gonna be a bunch of fun questions, and if you get the most questions right with the most amount of points, you're gonna win some fucking easy money, man. WrestleRumble.com. Go and support those guys, and if you guys are on Pro Wrestling Tees, WrestleRumble is on Pro Wrestling Tees. Use code America and get some fucking WrestleRumble t-shirts. You can see the entire line right there on WrestleRumble.com on the homepage. So make sure you guys go and enter the Great Balls of Fire Pick'em contest. You have up until 7:59 p.m. on Sunday night to enter the contest, and I will continue to plug them all weekend long right here on Off the Script. Speaking of Great Balls of Fire, we did a massive predictions video for part 1 that is live on the channel right now. Make sure you guys go and check that out. Also, we did an Off the Script extra video where there was exclusive news released by Sportskeeda and Bill Body, one of their head editors, that states everything that Dave Meltzer has said about Great Balls of Fire and the ambulance match is absolutely 100% false. That Braun Strowman is going to win the Great Balls of Fire ambulance match, and that Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar is 100% still on for WrestleMania, and it is not going to be changed at all. So if you guys want to hear one of the best rants of the year, courtesy of me, it's live on the channel right now, Off the Script Extra. Make sure you guys go and check that out, as well as part 1 yesterday, and everything else that I did this week, Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, and NXT reviews live on the channel right now. And speaking of 2K18, which you can win if you get first place in WrestleRumble, I did a massive opinion piece, 25 minutes, gameplay commentary on WWE 2K18 and all the new information released so far and my thoughts and opinions behind it. So make sure you guys go and check that out as well. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. audibletrial.com/offthescript for all new listeners. If you guys want a free audio book just for listening today, if you guys got an iPhone and Android, you guys can listen to anything you want for free. One book of your choice for free on Audible. All you got to do is sign up, listen to the show, use our link. Over 180,000 books to choose from, and being that we are a wrestling podcast, right? You guys got a ton of wrestling books to choose from, man, which a lot of you are cashing in on Justin Roberts' new book. So make sure you guys go and check that out. If you guys want to hear his stories about Kevin Dunn and Vince McMahon, they're all on there. audibletrial.com/offthescript. And thank you, everybody, for showing love to Cap Beast, who has been sponsoring the podcast all summer thus far, and they're going to be sponsoring the podcast up and through SummerSlam, man. So it's capbeast.com if you guys want custom-made hats, logos on your hats, your beanies, your caps, whatever. If you guys want to get ready for SummerSlam, you guys can go through capbeast.com and save 10% off JD10 at checkout on capbeast.com. Follow me on Twitter at JD from NY206 and hit that subscribe button down below with that bell, and make sure you turn that bell on and make sure you have all notifications turned on so you never miss an upload. Let's get into the news, man. We already talked about Austin Aries. Let's talk about this Women's Royal Rumble match, apparently, that WWE is considering in January. There's been a lot of talk of doing a Women's Royal Rumble match in January, according to Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez of the Wrestling Observer. There's no word on how serious the talks are, but it's another positive step for the women. Now, it's a great idea in retrospect, but you know me, I gotta be, JD here, and I have to be a little critical of literally everything, okay? It's a great way to elevate the Women's Championship, number one, but I am an old school head. I am an old soul, okay? I'm the guy that when they changed the time limit from 2 minutes to 90 seconds, well, actually they did it from 2 minutes to 60 seconds, and that was completely fucking awful, right? That Royal Rumble that Shawn Michaels won in 95, right? Where he was number one, and it was like 60 seconds. Give me a fucking break, dude. That was awful. That was not a Royal Rumble to me. That was like a fucking, that was a half of a Rumble. I was that guy that picked apart them moving the timer from 2 minutes to 60 seconds. Then they moved it to 90 seconds, and they kept it at 90 seconds for the foreseeable future. I'm that guy that complains about little minor things like that. A Women's Royal Rumble is great. Don't get me wrong, but I would not really mess with something that is so prestigious in this company, that has so much history. I would not really turn around and give or gift the women that type of match. You know, there's a lot of variables that go into that really need to make it special. You know, do they have the women roster or the women's roster to really make it a Royal Rumble? I don't want to see anything less than 30 women in that Royal Rumble. Are the women going to have a tough time going over the top rope? You know, that's another thing. You know, not all these women are going to make it look good by going over the top rope. Some of the battle royals that WWE did back in the day, it was fucking pathetic. Like, you would have these women in a battle royal, and the way to get eliminated is throwing them through the middle rope. You know, it's ridiculous. So are they really going to pay homage, and are they really going to be able to be tossed over the top rope? Those are the things that I'm concerned with. But if you look at it, it could really make the women's title a little bit more prestigious. We could get surprise after surprise after surprise. We could see somebody that we sometimes see on NXT or Raw or SmackDown, and then they get into the Rumble, and then they can have a dominating performance, and we can look at them in a completely different light. You know, surprises, maybe somebody from NXT, somebody that we really didn't expect, somebody that we really want to see moved up to the main roster. You know, now they have a great performance in the Royal Rumble, and then it's, you know, a rocket ship to the main roster soon after that. And with this women's tournament coming up, WWE should have more than enough bodies to fill a Royal Rumble if they so choose. So there's a lot of good to come out of it, but there's also a lot of worry that goes into it as well. You know, WWE's done a Hell in a Cell, and it really wasn't all that impressive. It was done, or that was done, pretty much because WWE wanted to do something for the sake of doing it. They didn't need to do it, but they did it anyway, just to kind of force the women's revolution and this whole idea of the women shit down your throat, when that really didn't need to happen. And the end result was really a half-assed Hell in a Cell match, something that I really didn't find all that impressive. You know, WWE did the same thing with Smackdown with Becky Lynch and Alexa Bliss. They did a tables match. That wasn't all that bad, but still wasn't good, you know. Then they did the women's Money in the Bank match, right? That was really good. I enjoyed that. They did a Hell in a Cell, or not, they did the Hell in a Cell, but they also did for SmackDown. SmackDown did a steel cage match with Alexa Bliss and Becky Lynch on SmackDown Live, right? And then that's when we seen Mickie James reintroduced to the WWE roster on SmackDown Live. So WWE has done literally everything with the women that they would do with the men. Hell in a Cells, steel cage, Money in the Bank, tables matches. But a Royal Rumble, I'm a little reserved on that. I really am. But like I said, it could be good, but it's going to come with a lot of worry. And it's definitely a great way to elevate the women's championship, since the winner of the Royal Rumble would be getting a shot at one of the women's titles on Raw or SmackDown Live. Now, last January, during an interview with the Montgomery Advertisers Pile Drive podcast, whoever the fuck they are, Bayley seemed optimistic about it, but she feels that WWE would need to bring up more women to the main roster. This was last January. Okay, WWE wasn't in the same place that they are now last January, so it's a little different story now. She said, I kind of honestly think we need a few more girls to do something like that, because the guys have 30 men. We don't have many girls. Even if it was Raw and SmackDown combined, I don't think it would even make 20. If we had more girls brought in, maybe like NXT girls, that would be really cool, and I think it would be a lot of fun. In an interview with the Amarillo Globe News, Becky Lynch was asked about the possibility of a women's Royal Rumble match. She said, I think there'll definitely be a time where the women get their own Royal Rumble. When you look at the fact that in July, there's the Mae Young Classic taking place between 32 women, then you have the women in NXT and women on both brands, Raw and SmackDown. I think it's a year or two away from having our own Royal Rumble and then maybe our own tag titles. The sky is the limit. You have to give credit to WWE for what they've done with the women the last couple of years, where they just pretty much took the bra and panties era and the embarrassment that was. The Divas Butterfly belt was fucking awful. WWE, even though it's not every week where we get something great with the women, you know, Monday Night Raw has had its highs, it certainly has its lows, or it has its lows right now. The same thing with SmackDown. It had its highs, it's got its in-betweens, it's got its lows, but it's much better than what it was, you know, compared to the last couple of years. There's still a lot of work to do, and they have still come up with really some awful moments for the women, especially with people like Bayley, right? Who, I don't know how you fucked that up, but the women, the most important thing is the women are no longer treated like eye candy. They're not wearing bra and panties to the ring. They're not, you know, wearing low-cut skirts and fucking, you know, having their tits all hanging out, even though I'm sure you guys all enjoy that. We're getting actual wrestling. We're getting storylines. We're getting TV time. Now, we've seen the women main event Raw. We've seen the women, like I said, featured in Hell in a Cell on Money in the Bank. And that's all great. But a Royal Rumble needs to be well thought out. It's not something that you can rush into. You got to be properly prepared. And it has to live up to the respect. And you have to pay the right homage to what the Royal Rumble match is. Because it is one of the most important matches in WWE history. And you have to make sure things live up to what a Royal Rumble should be. That is my concern. There's also been talk of doing a women's tag team tournament on the WWE Network. It would be similar to the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Tournament. So WWE and their tournaments, man, they're loving their tournaments on the network. And the Royal Rumble match is just an idea right now. But come January, if we start hearing more and more about the Royal Rumble, don't be surprised if we see it at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. Update on the next possible tournament. Speaking of tournaments, WWE's been thinking outside the box with the WWE Network. They've tried everything from prank shows to adult animated programming. Now they're finally putting on unique pro wrestling experiences that seems to have a winning formula. The Cruiserweight Classic was one of the best things that WWE put on last year. One of the best things that WWE put on, period, in their history. It was an outstanding display of athletic ability that showcased some of the best cruiserweights around the world. I wonder what happened to that. Where are they now? Nobody knows. It also gave WWE a chance to fill a 205 Live roster full of cruiserweights to wrestle in their purple ring. If only WWE would have convinced guys like Kota Ibushi and Zack Sabre Jr. to stick around on a full-time basis, things on 205 Live might be much different. No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't. Why do you think Kota Ibushi and Zack Sabre Jr. said, "Peace out, bro, I'm not coming"? Because they're too busy winning titles over in New Japan, that's why. Especially Zack Sabre. The Mae Young Classic is set to do the same thing for the WWE Network. It will showcase amazing women, sports entertainers from around the globe. There are a couple of ladies who might not be ready for this kind of stage, as Dave Meltzer recently noted on an episode of the Wrestling Observer Radio, that a lot of the talent might not impress due to their lack of experience. But that might be why the WWE Network is putting the episodes up on blocks so people can binge them or at least fast forward through them. But the WWE Network seems to have their stride in creating tournaments, or at least hit their stride in creating tournaments. There have been rumors of an Asian and Latin American tournament as well, so there are plenty of ways to explore this type of specialty tournament. Theoretically, WWE Network could just start all over again with another Cruiserweight Classic after they've run out of unique ideas, which I would love to see another Cruiserweight Classic. I think at this point we need another Cruiserweight Classic. Because whatever the fuck they're doing on 205 Live has hit the bottom of the barrel. We need a fucking reset button. We need a real reset button for the Cruiserweights. And a Cruiserweight Classic would be phenomenal. Get Daniel Bryan back and get Mauro Ranallo to do it again for a second year. Now, Brian Alvarez said on a recent episode of Wrestling Observer Live that WWE is probably planning a tag team tournament next. This tournament will be a great chance for indie teams all over the planet to make a venture to the Full Sail Arena and show WWE what they're made of. It is an exciting prospect, to say the least. But if WWE could get the Young Bucks involved, it would be even better. So the next time you're chatting with Nick or Matt Jackson, ask them if they'd be interested in participating in something called the Legion of Doom Classic. Now, that name is purely speculation. That is something that Brian Alvarez had mentioned. They could name their tag team tournament the Headbanger Classic for all we know, you know. Or they could just keep the name of their previous tag team tournament, the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. It's a total guess right now as to what it would be called. It's in its infancy stage. It's nothing but a fucking rumor right now. But everybody thinks that this is where WWE is headed next after they finish this Mae Young Classic. It's a total guess right now what the WWE Network would name this tournament. You know, they could have an Asian tournament. They could name it the Mr. Fuji Classic. Or a Latin American tournament. They could name the Eddie Guerrero Classic. If any of these actually happen, now, you know, obviously, they're just good guessers over there at the Wrestling Observer Live. The point is that this tag team tournament, if it does happen on the network, consisting of the top teams on the planet who sign per appearance deals, it would be a shame if the Young Bucks were not included in this tournament. Maybe Jim Cornette could manage them. That would be hilarious. So, the Tag Team Classic rumor going around right now is something that I honestly do believe, even though it's a very, very young rumor right now. I think this is something that WWE is definitely going to visit in 2018. I do think that this is the next thing in line for tournaments on the WWE Network. It seems to be that way just by what you see on the main roster. And I mentioned this yesterday when I was talking about Sheamus and Cesaro versus the Hardys at Great Balls of Fire. A lot of these tag teams right now, they're either splitting up or they're experimenting these tag teams and the tag team partners of these teams in single roles. Chad Gable. We've seen Chad Gable wrestle 2 singles matches on SmackDown. One against Kevin Owens, and we've seen one against AJ Styles. And the one against AJ Styles gave him a nod of respect. Like, we're going to do this again. We're definitely going to do this again. You know, everybody says that Chad Gable is the second coming of a young Kurt Angle. Everybody says Jason Jordan has the ability to be a top guy in the WWE. Rumors going around, which I'll read in a second, about the Hype Bros possibly breaking up and going their separate ways. So Zack Ryder becoming a heel and Mojo Rawley moving on to be a babyface. The Colognes. You know, the Colognes rumored to be getting their release. Ryan Satin came out and said one of the Colognes is having reconstructive knee surgery. So that team is going to be done for the foreseeable future. You know, we got Rhino and Slater, a makeshift tag team that was put together. They aren't really teaming anymore. You know, I heard a rumor that Rhino is going to be on his own for the summer, wrestling WWE house shows for Monday Night Raw without Heath Slater. Sheamus and Cesaro, they are going to be away from each other because Sheamus is going to be off filming a movie for a couple of months. What if Matt Hardy gets the broken gimmick back? You know, is Matt Hardy going to go on his own? Are they going to be the broken Hardys? Or is Matt going to go on and be his own broken self and Jeff is going to go on to be the Enigma? You know, they already broke up the Golden Truth and Enzo and Cass are broken up. This year is the team of breaking away tag teams. This is the year that tag teams have split. And NXT, if you look at NXT, their tag team division is non-existent. You got Heavy Machinery. You got the Authors of Pain. TM61 should be due back any month now. They broke up DIY with Gargano and Ciampa. Ciampa is out till March 2018, so you're not going to see DIY. You're not even going to see a feud between those two guys, right? There's rumors that Kyle O'Reilly's coming in. Bobby Fish is set to debut any week on WWE television for NXT. Are they going to get Red Dragon back together? I'm hearing War Machine from Ring of Honor. WWE is highly interested in bringing in War Machine, but they can't bring in War Machine right now because if they're under contract with Ring of Honor, they have to wait 3 months, a 90-day no-compete clause to sign anywhere else. Same thing with Adam Cole. Same thing with Kyle O'Reilly. You know? So, I don't know what WWE is doing, but each individual brand can certainly use tag teams. And each individual brand can certainly use a few more women on each brand. And that's what the Mae Young Classic is going to do. A lot of those women are going to end up being signed. A lot of those women are actually going to report to the Performance Center. WWE is going to put the best names and spread them out across all 3 brands. Same thing will happen, I predict that, with the tag teams and the Tag Team Classic. Because there's no reason why WWE is so incensed on breaking all these teams up and finding who's going to strive and be great on their own right now if it's not at least a thought in their head. This is probably in the back of Triple H's mind. As soon as we get done with the Mae Young Classic, we're going to start with the tag teams. And this is why the WWE is breaking up these tag teams. There's no other reason for it. There's no other reason for it. Unless they have this in mind and they're going to try and replenish the tag team divisions on all three brands with this tournament. That's my prediction for that. I could definitely see it happening. Now, speaking of the Hype Bros, the future of the Hype Bros is in doubt. On SmackDown Live this week, WWE teased a split between the Hype Bros, Zack Ryder and Mojo Rawley. This was made clear after Mojo eliminated Ryder from the Independence Day Battle Royal by throwing him over the top rope. Now, fans have seen several tag teams split up recently, but are the Hype Bros next? According to rumors, yes, they are. This is the beginning of the end for the Hype Bros as a team. I don't know why. I don't know why. Before I even read the rest of this report, I don't know why. Because Zack Ryder is, you know, I could see him as a mid-card guy, but is WWE going to push him as a mid-card guy? Are they just going to leave him floating around doing nothing like they did with Zack Ryder before? You mean to tell me WWE is really going to get behind Zack Ryder now? Mojo Rawley's gimmick? That has a incredibly small ceiling. I don't see Mojo Rawley going anywhere at all. Their main thing, their biggest quality, The amount of talent that they have is greater together than it is separated. And I don't understand why WWE doesn't see that. I don't put any faith in WWE pushing Zack Ryder. They dropped the ball with him 2 or 3 different times already. So they're not going to push Zack Ryder. I doubt it. Even if he is on SmackDown Live, I doubt it. There's already too many names on SmackDown Live taking up spots well ahead of Zack Ryder. Zack Ryder's going to have to do a lot of work to get into any of those spots on SmackDown Live. Mojo Rawley, I don't see him doing anything. I don't see him going anywhere. Now, WWE has established Mojo as a single star, if you want to call him that, over the past few months, while Ryder has been on the shelf with a knee injury. Seems like WWE is very high on Mojo, as they had him win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal at WrestleMania 33. Ryder, on the other hand, is an established singles star on his own and has multiple singles titles to his resume. This makes it seem likely that they will split from one another when the time is right. If they do split, who is turning on who? You can make an argument for either guy to turn heel. Right now, it seems like Zack Ryder is the one who is going to turn heel. Regardless, it doesn't look like the team will be together much longer. If there was a guess, WWE will continue to tease their breakup over the next several weeks before it finally happens. No need to rush their storytelling. So that is that. With Zack Ryder, you know, I don't really know if a heel turn is going to benefit him. I don't know if a heel turn is going to benefit Mojo Rawley either, to be quite honest with you. This is a difficult situation. But I know one thing, and one thing is for certain, that they are more valuable together than they are apart. To me, they are going to be at the bottom of the barrel on SmackDown. They're not going to be anything important. But if you keep them together, they could be something important together. Right now, I think you're doing them a huge disservice by splitting them up because they're not going to be as successful on their own. And if they are, it's going to take a very, very long time because SmackDown Live right now with Owens and Zayn and Corbin and Nakamura and Styles, and you can even put Ziggler there, Cena being back, Jinder Mahal, Randy Orton, you know, Mike Bennett now, Mike Kanellis is there, Rusev. It's too crowded. It's too fucking crowded. Where's Zack Ryder going to fit in? Where's Mojo Rawley going to fit in? Nowhere. You're already starting these guys in the fucking, in the minor leagues, in the dugout, before they even fucking see a first pitch. These guys are going to be sitting around waiting for an opportunity. Meanwhile, they have an opportunity right now as a team. This is a huge mistake by WWE, and I wish somebody would fucking tell them, listen, why? Why are you breaking them up? The one thing you need right now is tag teams. You have a perfectly good tag team right here. That if you give them the opportunity to run with the ball, people will get behind them. I don't get it. You know? They didn't even come out of this looking good. At least if you want to break up a team that's been together for a couple of years and the people know who they are. I feel like people don't even know who Zack Ryder is. You know? He went out with injury. He was out for 8 months. And now he's back. People got to get reaffiliated with him. They're trying to get him back on WWE.com and YouTube by unboxing action figures and doing Long Island Z True Story again. Mojo Rawley, where does he fit in? You know? Do people care about Mojo Rawley being a singles guy? No. Not at all. It's just absolutely mind-boggling to me. The one thing that they need, they're getting rid of. And they don't give a shit. There's no thought or logic behind any of the decisions that WWE makes. It's really frustrating as a fan that people want to tell me I'm negative. How am I negative when I'm telling you the God-honest truth? Ridiculous. You know? I feel sorry for both of them. But this is what WWE wants to do. I can only hope for the best. You know? Are they going to give us the Zack Ryder that won the United States Championship and we were all behind him? I hope so. Because right now, I have no faith in anything that WWE does with anybody. That's just the current state of the product. Moving on here with the news, the plans for Tamina and Lana moving forward. Now, if you guys seen on SmackDown Live, Lana was squashed in about 30 seconds by Naomi for the second straight week on SmackDown Live. At the end of the match, Tamina came down to the ring and helped Lana up before they walked back to the locker room together. For those wondering what the hell was going on, there are rumors about plans for both of them moving forward. Several months ago, there was a preview of Lana's gimmick that would be on SmackDown Live. This included her working NXT Live events with a bodyguard named Mary Kate. Her name has recently been changed to Sage Miller. Some fans have speculated that Tamina will be taking over the role on the WWE main roster and will be the bodyguard for Lana moving forward. Now, It was mentioned on Dave Meltzer's podcast and the Wrestling Observer Radio Live, saying that Tamina is going to be the bodyguard for Lana, and that is the likely plan moving forward. Ever since that was reported, there's been an update by SmackDown's head writer, Road Dogg, Brian James, and he warns WWE fans not to be impatient with the storyline and indicates that Tamina might not be just a bodyguard. Really, Mr. Road Dogg? Are we to think anything else when all you've done with Tamina since she's been on the main roster has made her a bodyguard? That's all you've done with Tamina. Tamina has absolutely no personality. And this is exactly what I said on SmackDown Live Review. This is exactly what I said. WWE falling right back into the same hole with Tamina. She's back as a full-timer on the main roster. They got absolutely no plans for her. And what do? You make her into a bodyguard. Instead of individually having these women shine on their own, now she's got to be a shadow for someone who's probably got half the fucking talent she does. It's ridiculous. So Tamina now has to be a shadow for Lana as she hogs up most of the spotlight, and Tamina's going to be in the distance. What are we supposed to think? What are we supposed to think when you've done the same thing with Tamina every single time? She has no personality. She looks awful. And I don't mean her, but I mean the way you present her. She's wearing all black, right? She wears these dark jeans and this vest like she's going to fucking throw somebody out of a nightclub. She's got no personality. There's nothing there. You know? That's not the Tamina I want to see. I want to see the Tamina that lives up to her father's legacy. She's never been given an opportunity to even come close to that. You know? She hasn't even had an opportunity to at least make her father proud. Holy shit. Do something different. And then these guys have the balls to come out and fucking, you know, pretty much shit all over their fans. Oh, be patient, guys. Be patient about what? We have no faith in you. I don't give a shit how good your shows have been doing. Or how good they've been coming off. We have no faith in the overall product. Why do you think we get so frustrated? WWE has not one creative bone in their fucking body. It's either something that they barely get by doing it well, or they rehash old shit. Nothing is new. What are we supposed to think? Oh, WWE's gonna do something new with Tamina? Right? What are we supposed to think if Tamina comes out and starts helping up Lana in a protector bodyguard type role? That she's gonna fit that protector bodyguard role, and that she's gonna play second fiddle to Lana. Until we see something different, then that's exactly what we're gonna do. We're gonna think the obvious, because you've done nothing but ruin Tamina and give me the obvious with Tamina. So don't give me that bullshit. So Tamina right now, according to Meltzer, is going to be a bodyguard for Lana. Road Dogg wants you to be patient with the storyline, but be patient with WWE Creative? Yeah, right. Yeah, right, man. Just hand me some more fucking Titus Catering. Hand me some of his blueberry pie. I could use some sugar. Fucking retards. Anyway, moving on here from Lana and Tamina, we have Battleground 2017. We'll keep it with the SmackDown theme. Matches that could be added to Battleground 2017. Clearly, as you guys have seen on SmackDown Live, right now there are 4 matches that have been officially announced for Battleground. The event will be headlined by Punjabi Prison, Randy Orton and Jinder Mahal for the WWE Championship. The Usos will defend the SmackDown Tag Team Championships at the event against the New Day. Kevin Owens will put his United States Championship on the line against AJ Styles, and John Cena will face Rusev in a flag match. Yeah, John Cena, Mr. Patriotic over there, going to lose a fucking flag match in his return match. Yeah, right. Sure thing, WWE. Sure thing. So Rusev already in the hole, his first match back. So what other matches could be added to the card? Well, Baron Corbin and Shinsuke Nakamura seem to have a little thing going on themselves. That one seems to be pretty obvious, right? And Sami Zayn versus Mike Kanellis. This has been teased for the last couple of weeks. And this will be Mike Kanellis' first match in the WWE. The SmackDown Women's Division, though, is a completely different story. we could have Naomi versus Tamina for the SmackDown Women's Championship. We can have Carmella versus Becky, Charlotte versus Natalya, Zack Ryder versus Mojo Rawley. So those are the rumors right now, possible rumors for Battleground 2017, which will be taking place in just a couple of weeks. Moving on here, we have, oh, look at that, Austin Aries released from the WWE. We have WWE. And I am hearing now, this is actually news right now. Let me read you this. This is according to Twitter right now, and this is from Slice Ent on Twitter. Austin Aries asked to be released. He was unhappy with his role on 205 Live. So he asked for his release. He wasn't pleased with his positioning in WWE, and that is where we stand right now. Word for word, Austin Aries asked to be released from the WWE, which he was granted partly due to being unsatisfied as strictly being a cruiserweight. Well, there you go. There you go. So Austin Aries, I'm sure, will find success in Ring of Honor or New Japan, and there you go. Any more information, I will let you guys know exactly what is going on with Austin Aries. But our fears were exactly that. 205 Live and strictly labeling him as a cruiserweight when we all know he could be so much more, and he walked away. He didn't want it. Again, WWE limiting what these guys are capable of, holding guys down because of bullshit reasons. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to manage talent. They don't know what the fuck they have. And they let Austin Aries go because he wanted to be let go. He was unhappy. Kind of shitty, right? Kind of shitty that we all feel the same way about this company, that they have so much goddamn fucking potential and they don't know what the fuck to do with it. They don't know what to do with it. It's depressing. It really is depressing. WWE reveals their top 10 matches so far for 2017. This is a pretty interesting list, even though I don't agree with all of it. I do agree with most of it. They are missing one thing here, and there's a few things I would change. Number one, clearly they got right. I'm surprised at that. I'm surprised I don't see a fucking women's match up there or a Roman Reigns match. Tyler Bate versus Pete Dunne for the United Kingdom Championship at NXT TakeOver Chicago. Number one. Easy. Easy right there. Authors of Pain versus DIY versus The Revival. Triple Threat Tag Team Championship Elimination match at TakeOver Orlando. So you completely forgot about their ladder match at TakeOver Chicago. You thought that triple threat match was better. I don't think so. I mean, it's a good match, but I wouldn't put that above the ladder match that Authors of Pain and DIY had. What kind of shit is that? So automatically, already, I don't agree with the list. AJ Styles versus John Cena. WWE Championship match at the Royal Rumble. Yes, great match. Finn Balor, Seth Rollins, and The Miz. Triple Threat Intercontinental Championship #1 Contenders match on Monday Night Raw, May 1st. Absolutely, that was a fantastic main event. The best main event on Monday Night Raw all year. Shane McMahon versus AJ Styles at WrestleMania. Yes, it was the best match on that entire show. This is one I don't agree with, and WWE just put this in there just to fucking just put it in there because that's what they do. This is not one of the best matches of the year. Definitely not. Big Show versus Braun Strowman, Raw, February 20th. Nah. Come on, man. Seriously. Seriously. You put that on this list, but coincidentally, they left out the Elimination Chamber match in February. Are you serious? You mean to tell me Braun Strowman in the Big Show is better than the Elimination Chamber match that we seen at the pay-per-view? Are they out of their fucking minds? Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns, May 29th. It was a good match. I wouldn't say fucking top match of the year for WWE. Gentleman, Jack Gallagher, TJP, Cedric Alexander, Noam Dar, Mustafa Ali. Cruiserweight Championship match, #1 Contender, Fatal 5-Way. Elimination match, February 7th. It was good. Nothing that I'm going to fucking jump out of my seat and go watch again, but it was good. WWE's got to add a women's match in there. Just happened. Charlotte, Becky, Natalya, Carmella, Tamina, women's Money in the Bank ladder match on SmackDown, June 27th. And Neville versus Rich Swann, Cruiserweight Championship match on Raw, March 6th. Yes. And I would actually put that one higher. How do you have Big Show and Braun Strowman over that match? Are you fucking out of your mind? And they're missing the Elimination Chamber match. That was a great fucking match. I really can't think of anything off the top of my head. WWE got most of these right. Some of these are definitely head-scratching, but they got most of it right. Big Show and Braun Strowman shouldn't be on there. Neville and Rich Swann from March 6th Raw should definitely be moved up the list. Charlotte, Becky, Natalya, Carmella, Tamina, Money in the Bank ladder match from this past week. You know, WWE just merely put it on there because they needed one women's match on there. I wouldn't say it's one of the best matches of the year, but they just put it on there because they needed one women's match to showcase the women's revolution. That's why they did that. All political garbage. But at least they got the number one right. Definitely Tyler Bate versus Pete Dunne, United Kingdom Championship. Authors of Pain DIY and the Revival at TakeOver Orlando. No way would I take that over the ladder match that Authors of Pain and DIY had at Chicago. I guess WWE didn't want to put two matches from the same show, number 1 and 2. But that's how good that fucking show was. So there's no bad to come out of that. Those two matches were fucking great, and they should be recognized. So that's WWE's top 10 so far. Like I said, some of it I agree with. Some of it I do not. Kurt Angle. And the reason why Kurt Angle was chosen as WWE 2K18's DLC character. I can tell you why. It probably has to do with Vince McMahon. He makes all the final decisions. Sting and Goldberg are pretty much the same stories, but they actually came back and worked a few matches. It was said in the recent issue of the Wrestling Observer newsletter that Sting would have probably returned to the ring either way, but being part of the video game certainly helped things along. With the Ultimate Warrior and Goldberg, there was no chance they would come back to the WWE if not being part of the 2K game. It was also noted, Vince McMahon is the primary decision maker on who gets the cover of the game, Seth Rollins, and who is the special downloadable character, Kurt Angle. It was noted Kurt Angle would have probably been approved either way because he never really burned any bridges with WWE upon his exit. Unlike in cases of Goldberg or Ultimate Warrior specifically, there didn't seem to be any bad blood in the water. Now, one interesting thing that is being discussed, okay, who, after Kurt Angle, is left? There really is nobody left. You did your Hogans, you did your Warriors, you did your Goldbergs, you did your Stings, right? Who's left? Who's left? This is why I've always stated that they always come back again. CM Punk is the perfect candidate to be a downloadable character in WWE 2K, and that could be the bridge to a working relationship again with the WWE. CM Punk is probably the only superstar Vince McMahon would not approve of at this point, but seeing how this partnership with 2K has helped mend so many relationships already for the WWE, it isn't out of the question. Meltzer noted Vince McMahon might actually approve having CM Punk as part of the game in due time. The biggest fear concerning Kurt Angle was that something bad would happen to him while under their watch. But since Angle has seemed to clean up a lot of aspects of his life that worried WWE, it was a no-brainer that he would be approved. At this point, it is still unknown if Kurt Angle will return to the ring. As he says, he hasn't even been tested for in-ring competition yet, but never say never. WWE really hasn't made any more strides with this text angle with Corey Graves and Kurt Angle. It's kind of taken a backseat the last couple of weeks, but it might be too late. It might be too late to build towards a Kurt Angle Triple H match at SummerSlam. They might actually be saving that for WrestleMania because I don't see Triple H wanting to wrestle at SummerSlam over WrestleMania. And if he wants a high-profile match, can't get any more high-profile than Kurt Angle, and you can't get any bigger than WrestleMania. So they probably are looking at that, or at least Triple H is looking at that. He wants it at WrestleMania instead of SummerSlam, so it's kind of probably slowed down a little bit. But I don't mind that because the less we see of Stephanie McMahon on Monday Night Raw, the better I will be health-wise. Because she is absolutely cancer to the show. But as far as Kurt Angle being chosen, I mean, it was a no-brainer. People have predicted this well before the game was even released. Well before the game or anything about the game was announced. Everybody figured, oh, Kurt Angle's coming back to the WWE. That probably means Kurt Angle's going to be on, the roster of the game and be a DLC character. So Vince McMahon has chosen not only Seth Rollins for the cover, but he's chosen Kurt Angle as DLC character for WWE 2K18. Will CM Punk be back in the WWE? Yes. How do I think he's going to get there? It might not happen next year. It might not happen in 2K19. It might not happen in 2K20. But it will happen eventually, and I think CM Punk and his return to the WWE will all coincide with WWE's video game. That's the way I see it. Moving on here, just a couple more stories, guys. We have this story about WWE and a massive data leak apparently exposing 3 million WWE fans' info. Now, the one thing I am very intrigued by is Kevin Dunn's info. What is Kevin Dunn's login? What is his password? Is it really Woodchips69? Is it I love Roman's balls 69? I love Roman's cock 69? What is his password? That's the most intriguing thing. What is his password? Toothbrush? Teeth? Teeth 0909 or whatever? Roman Empire 619? What is it? I love Wood 69? I love Roman and Vince's cock 69? What is his password? I would love to know. That's the one thing I really want exposed. But I don't know. Enough fun and games. This is not really a funny situation because I am actually, I don't know if I'm a part of this, but, you know, if they're exposing 3 million fans, there's a good probability that you or me, you know, could be a part of this. It's great to be able to trust somebody, especially if it's a company that you love and devote so much of your life to, like WWE. According to a recent article from Forbes, 3 million WWE fans might have had their information available and unsecured servers just waiting to be taken by anyone who found them. This information included addresses, educational background, earnings, and ethnicity. Now, no credit card information was released in this data leak. Good. Okay, at least we got that to be, you know, okay with. Bob Diachenko from a security firm called Chrome Tech told Forbes he found this huge treasure trove of identifying information in plain text form on an Amazon web service, S3. This information had no username or password protection either, which meant anyone who had an inkling of malicious intent could have used this information however they saw fit. While it is not known what branch of WWE dropped the ball and left all of this personal information just sitting out for anyone to find on the side streets of the information superhighway, it is believed it might have been one of WWE's many marketing teams. It was noted that the kind of information leaked contained the same personal details customers of WWE Network would put in their account details section of their WWE Network account. So if you filled out your WWE Network account information with a bunch of false information, you could probably rest a little easier. Needless to say, this is not the kind of black eye that WWE needs, especially considering its close relationship to the WWE Network. The idea is to give subscribers a reason to keep their subscriptions and not have fear of their private information leaking. Even though it might be impossible to put the toothpaste back in the tube in this situation. Holy shit, you're speaking Kevin Dunn's language. Oh my god. Whoever wrote this article is fucking ingenious. Toothpaste? Back in the tube? No, man, it's gotta go on my teeth. Why do you think they're so white? And my password is, I love Roman's cock and balls and Wood 69. Anyway, moving on. You know, some fucking idiot in the comment section was benched because, he's like, oh, look at this fucking faggot. Same old song and dance with the same old corny jokes. Why don't you think anybody else new subscribes? Suck my cock. Okay? Now you're not able to comment anymore. But thank you for the view, brother. Thank you for the view. Anyway, WWE and its European fans were also found on a separate Amazon server. Forbes says this European information might have been leaked from WWE's store, as the WWE Network doesn't require a mobile telephone number. WWE issued a statement regarding this situation and said, although no credit card or password information was included and therefore not at risk, WWE is investigating a potential vulnerability of a database house on a third-party platform. WWE said that they didn't know where the information came from or how long it had been on Amazon's servers. WWE also said that they are working with a leading cybersecurity firm to determine the cause of the leak. All information found on these servers was immediately removed from the web, making them impossible to recover. Update. WWE sent a full response on the matter. Although no credit card or password information was included and therefore not at risk, They are investigating a vulnerability of a database housed on Amazon's web service, AWS, which has now been secured. WWE utilizes leading cybersecurity firms Smartronix and Praetorian to manage data infrastructure and cybersecurity to conduct regular security audits on AWS. We are currently working with Amazon Web Services, Smartronix, and Praetorian to ensure the ongoing security of our customer information. Just keep my shit secure, man. All this fucking mumbo-jumbo, these big words, whatever. Just keep my shit secure and make sure nobody is hacking or leaking data, okay? That's all I give a shit about, all right? And please, when you get the information, if you come across it, if it's been leaked, somebody get me Kevin Dunn's password. I'd love to see what he's watching on the network. Guarantee it's all fucking Roman Reigns, Vince McMahon, Roman Reigns, right? You're going to see Cruiserweights on there? Probably not. You're going to see, Nakamura? Why would I watch him? I can't watch him, man. He can't even speak English. Anyway, man. One more story here before we get the fuck out of here. There is a story about my man Tyler Breeze that's been floating around the internet. And this comes courtesy of Ryback and his podcast, Conversations with the Big Guy. Now, Tyler Breeze was called up from NXT in late 2015 to the main roster. And there's a reason why Tyler Breeze had backstage heat. And there's a reason why he was buried early in his career. He began his career against Dolph Ziggler. That lasted several weeks. After a few months on the WWE main roster, Tyler Breeze would go on a losing streak of over 20 straight matches on WWE television. So what the fuck happened to Tyler Breeze? When Tyler Breeze came up, I seen him as the quintessential, perfect Intercontinental Champion. He had a gimmick that was very good. He had the in-ring ability that could rival anybody, right? What happened? What happened? So what happened to Tyler Breeze? Why was he buried almost immediately after getting called up? Well, Ryback is giving us the answer. Ryback says there was an incident that occurred at the Tribute to the Troops show in December 2015. Breeze wasn't being used on the show and was told by some people in WWE management to go home. Now, Ryback says that WWE has a policy that if you aren't booked on a show, in some cases you are able to leave while that show is still going on. In order to get a head start, the reason why they do this is because they want you to get a head start for travel to the next show in the next city, which is understandable. I believe him. Now, Breeze walked by Vince McMahon, he walked by Michael Hayes, and Ryback on his way out of the building. Ryback says that Vince did a double take as he walked by, and he knew that Breeze was going to be in trouble. Someone on the card ended up getting hurt, and they needed a replacement for the show. Breeze was gone and was thrown under the bus to Vince. Ryback says none of the people who told Breeze to go home would admit it to Breeze, and Breeze ended up taking all of the heat. So, they told Breeze to go home. When they needed a replacement for the show, they threw Breeze under the bus, and nobody wanted to come forth and tell Vince that they were the ones to tell him to go home. Wow! Are you fucking serious? And I quote, rather than being like, Vince, we told him to go home, he wasn't being used on the show, somebody threw him under the bus. That poor motherfucker got thrown under the bus. As a result, we saw Breeze take a lot of heat backstage, and we would see him go on a big losing streak on television. Right now, it looks like Breeze is back in good graces with the company. We can only hope. And he's been killing it as a member of the Fashion Police with Fandango. But that is fucking shitty, man. I don't know. You know, it goes back to everybody who reports the shit, man. Everybody in WWE walks on eggshells because if you say one thing wrong, it could be your job. On one hand, I understand. On one hand, I understand that you don't want to have anything happen to your position, right? In management, especially in management. But to tell Tyler Breeze to go home because he's not being used, you know, it might have been like a good idea then, but then all of a sudden someone gets hurt. Now they're looking for Tyler Breeze to fill in that spot because someone got hurt. Vince McMahon's looking for Tyler Breeze. Where the fuck is he? Vince McMahon is thinking that Tyler Breeze just left the fucking arena because he wasn't being used. Right? He went home. He went to the next city. Nobody wanted to say, listen, Vince, I told him to go home because he wasn't being used. It's my mistake. So they threw Tyler Breeze under the bus, and look at what happened. Years off his career that he cannot get back. Years off his career that he cannot get back. That's a disgrace. And this is why Triple H is pissed off. Because all the hard work that he put into NXT to build these guys up as something. And they get thrown to the fucking wolves on the main roster and they're treated like shit. For reasons like this, all his hard work goes right down the toilet. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. I genuinely feel bad for Tyler Breeze, man. And what did he do? He took it like a fucking professional. He took it on the fucking jaw. He went about it. He did what they asked him to do. He dressed up as fucking Nikki Bella. He was put in fucking embarrassing situations. He's still in embarrassing situations. But at least now it looks like he's having a good time. At least they got television time. At least they are becoming a somewhat popular tag team on SmackDown Live. I can only hope for a brighter future for Tyler Breeze because I see a lot of potential in Tyler Breeze. But for someone to throw him under the bus that viciously, man, that's fucked up. That is fucked up. And again, all the reports seem to be true. Everybody in WWE walks on eggshells around Vince McMahon. That's not the way you manage your fucking team, man. Trust me, it's not the way you manage your team. If someone made a mistake like that, own up to it. They should not be punished. You know, they should know better that anything can happen. Things can happen in the ring. People get hurt. I wouldn't have sent anybody home, to be honest with you. But they thought, listen, it's a tribute to the Troop show. It's going to be one of these easy shows. We'll be done. You know, we'll do what we got to do. We'll put on a good show. We'll move on to the next city. You know, and something bad happened. And Tyler Breeze paid for it because nobody wanted to own up to it. They got to walk on eggshells around Vince McMahon. That's not the way you got to manage people, man. You know, if I was him and somebody admitted, I wouldn't punish him. I wouldn't fire him. Shit happens, you know, but to throw a talent under the bus like that and have years of his career fucked over because of this little thing. And what does it tell you about WWE and the way that they treat their talent? That you got to hold this guy in contempt for fucking 2 years because of something that happened in December 2015? Come on, man. He was told to go home. It's not like he fucking cursed out Vince McMahon. It's not like he fucking pissed in the hallways and said, fuck WWE, you know? Give me a break, man. That poor motherfucker got thrown under the bus. Exactly what Ryback said. He got thrown under the bus viciously. They ran him over time and time again. You ever watch fucking Jeepers Creepers with that scene in the first one where they just run him over? They run that fucking motherfucker over 4 or 5 different times and he still flies away, right? We can only hope Tyler Breeze fucking flies away. They threw him under that bus and he got run over fucking for 2 years. Fucking bullshit, man. But I wish the best for Tyler Breeze and I hope that eventually we see a nice singles run that I anticipated when he first came to the main roster. I'd love to see a mid-card run with Tyler Breeze. I'd love to see him with some singles gold around his waist because I do think he's one of the more talented guys on that roster. And bell to bell, some of the best in-ring performers, or one of the best in-ring performers in the WWE, for sure. Thank you guys so much for another great episode of Off the Script. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you guys were thoroughly entertained. I am JD. Hit that thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below in the comments section. And subscribe while you're at it. Hit that bell for notification. Follow me on Twitter at JDFROMNY206. AudibleTrial.com for all new listeners. AudibleTrial.com/offthescript. Patreon.com/JDFROMNY206. And BarbershopWindow.com/offthescript for your t-shirts. I will get you guys that code today on Twitter so you guys can save money on my merchandise all weekend long on Barbershop Window. I'm JD. Smash that thumbs up and I'll see you guys right back here for part 3 on Sunday of Off the Script. Make it a great Saturday, and I'll talk to you guys later.